Hello, YouTube. It's Andrew, the Bearded Giant, and welcome to Thursday, the 24th. It is a special day today because it's one day after the 23rd. Hey, is Bo with us? I saw someone make a comment about Bo. Bo is one of our youngest YouTube creators. I believe he's only a few months old. All right. Oh, I don't know why I'm checking my watch. I know it's 4:30 because I've started the live stream. So, I'd like to share with you an experience that happened to me and actually a couple of you just recently. And that is a new member to the YouTube family and a new member to content creators. And I moved my filming spot. Yeah, I did move my filming spot. So, and that is Ian over at R.I.G Outdoors. He just started a YouTube channel 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Anyway, it's really awesome. I'd like you all to welcome him. Check out his channel, and if it's of interest to you, subscribe. He has been a fan of some of ours for a while, and a really, really nice guy. Just a sweetheart of a guy. And he took the plunge and started a YouTube channel, and he is an outdoor enthusiast, and it's just really cool. I think he has 3 videos up already in just 2 days. So welcome aboard, Ian, and that's what I gotta say. You just came in. Yes. Okay. So, last year in 2018, that would be last year, I did a video, something called Big Man in Small Cars Wishing He Had Coffee. I got a link in my... All right. Oh boy, I hope you're still there. I am using the YouTube app. Nice. So let me see. I'm live. Am I still live? Can you still see me? Please be here. All right. Well, I just wanted to share a very intimate moment with you guys, and let's see how that goes. So, what I just did is I turned my Wi-Fi off, and I am now running on cellular. So, let's give this a shot. My little aerial view. Okay. All right. Let's give it a few seconds to mellow out. Thanks for hanging in there with me. If you need to, hit that refresh button. Oh, the bearded booger. Yeah. Okay. All right. Everyone, let's take a deep breath. Exhale. Take a deep breath. Exhale. All right. All right. So back to what I was talking about. Last year, maybe Sam or one of you guys could post this link for me. It's the video I have in my description of Big Man in Small Cars Wishing He Had Coffee. So last year, I went to the International Car Show in Portland, and got into small cars. And had my buddy film it, and I put together, it was early in my YouTube career. I mean, I'm only a year into YouTube, but in January of last year, just 1 month into making YouTube videos, I went to the car show and got into small cars. So I'm doing that again this weekend. My buddy Michael and I are going to the Portland International Car Show, and he is going to film me, a 6'5" bearded giant, trying to fit into small cars. So, after this live stream, when you have a moment, please go take a look at that old video I did last year. It's almost exactly a year old. Well, maybe 11 months old. And leave me some comments in that video of potential names for my new video, because I can't use the same name. I'm going to do the same basic thing where try the Fiat 500. I will, if there's a Fiat 500, Robert, I will attempt to get into it just for you and for everyone else. Smart car, yes. Smart car as well. My experience is getting into convertibles was a bit more entertaining from a visual standpoint, because you could see my head over the tops of the windshield. Whereas getting into actual regular small cars and I'm all crunched in and hunched over, you really couldn't see me that well because I'm crunched up and hunched over inside of a small car. Oh yeah, thanks Dave for posting that. So anyway, Saturday I will be filming a new video of the bearded giant getting into small cars, and I need some assistance with some of your, I need some of your help with potential names for that video. There's going to be a lot of similarity to this last video, but if you could come up with some clever names, some suggestions that I could riff off of, that'd be great. A cabrio, yeah. Man, there are some tiny cars that are not giant friendly. Although the Mini Cooper is surprisingly roomy. The Mini Cooper is surprisingly roomy inside. Big man, little car. Yes. Clown car. The human cork. A Scion IQ. I don't know what a Scion IQ is. I know what a Scion is. So, anyway, that's going to be a lot of fun. Is there anything that you guys want to see from the car show? I'm mostly doing this to be funny, but if there's something you want to see, you know, the newest Tesla or the newest, I don't know, Cadillac, I don't know. I don't know what cars are out there. I'm not a car guy. But I'll be there and I'll be looking around. Giants and cars getting squishy. Me in a smart car. I will. Oh, booth babes. Hey, I didn't really do any booth babes, but in this video from last year, you might get a glimpse of one booth babe who I actually know from outside, from another way. So she recognized me when I came up and was like, "Oh, hey, Andrew, blah, 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 blah." What's the fuel capacity of a Tesla? And why is it when you open the fuel cap, you can't pour anything down it? Hey, Dave, lifting up a small car. I did that once. Um, it was a Ford Fiesta. It might have been an 80s or 90s model. And it was at a company I worked for, and a guy I worked with, he had it parked in the parking lot, and I picked up the back end of this Ford Fiesta and I turned it around so it was perpendicular in the spot, and he couldn't leave until one of the other cars on either side pulled out. So that was a prank I played on him. I picked up the back end of a Ford Fiesta and turned it 90 degrees. VW Bug. Yeah, I like VW. Well, I like the old VW Bugs. To be honest, I've never ridden in the new ones. I mean, the old 60s and early 70s model. Been in plenty of those over the years. Bearded giant with booth babes in small cars. Yes, there you go. 81 Honda Civic. I don't know. I don't know if I'd fit in that. Maybe. Supra, the new Supra. That's a Toyota, right? Toyota makes a Supra. It's like a little sports car. I'll see if I can get inside one of those. Nice. How'd he get? Oh, Gary. Yeah, sorry. Two of them. VW Rabbit. I don't know if they make the Rabbit anymore. It'd be tight. Some of the older small cars aren't so bad because they don't have the wraparound dash and they don't have the tight console. So some of the older, the 70s smaller cars really aren't bad because they're pretty sparse on the inside. Even some of those 80s cars are real sparse. So they're not bad. I had a Plymouth Horizon, which had a Volkswagen engine in it, and it was a little bigger than a Volkswagen Rabbit. It was the Plymouth version of the Volkswagen Rabbit, and it was quite roomy inside. I mean, there's nothing around you, so you had plenty of space and a tall ceiling. What is it like as a bearded giant in a small car? Scirocco. Gary, I'm glad you're getting your beauty rest. You need it for your last show. Speaking of Gary's last show, I was at the coast last weekend. I went down to see Gary and my nephew Alex in a community production of The Little Mermaid. And they did a great job. It really was a great production. I sat in the balcony, and to my left was 3 generations, a granddaughter, mother, grandmother. And the granddaughter was, I don't know how old, 3 or 4 years old. And she stood at the railing of the balcony and was looking over, and you could tell she was just so happy to be there. She was just jumping up and down. And to my right was a mother and a teenage girl. And the teenage girl was special needs. And she sat on the edge, she sat on the edge of her seat and was intently watching the play. And she had little squeals of joy anytime a new character in the play started singing. And when everyone else was clapping, she did the clap with her hands way up in the air. And Andrew and a Fiero. I remember those Fieros. Old Kia Rio. Kia Rio. Were those Kia Rios sort of like the Geo Metros? So yeah, so it was a lot of fun watching this play. Gary played King Triton. He did a great job. Alex played various parts. He had some speaking roles and he sang. And the set design was really cool. Gary had a big hand in the set design and painting. Shoot, I'm buffering again. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. And also my aunt and uncle came down, who also live up, we call it live up in the valley. They came down to the coast and watched the play as well, and they stayed the night. And on Sunday, they came over and hung out, and Gary and my uncle and I sat in his garage, and Gary, my uncle, and I sat in Gary's shop and simply talked for about an hour. And I had my camera, or I had my phone rolling, and I recorded it. And we talked about the old days of construction in Portland and scaffolding and different things like that. Anyway, it's a good, I haven't edited it yet. I haven't edited that video yet, but I'm going to edit that down. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Maybe a couple of small videos. But it was a real nice conversation with my uncle, you know, a whole generational deal. I see you guys are talking about videoing the play. I wanted to video the play, but they were adamant about not having video devices going. And I didn't want to get kicked out. I didn't want to make a scene. But there, I could post a picture of Gary and I after the play while he's in his costume, his outfit. Nice mug. Nice mug. Like me? Like I'm a good-looking guy? Thanks, Sam. Or are you referring to something else? Are you referring to Dave's mug? Because Dave has a nice mug as well. Yeah, that talk with my uncle was pretty cool. I'll get some good footage out of that. I just haven't had the time to go through it. It's an hour-long video, and I'm not real sure how to present it. Could just be pretty straightforward. Oh, yeah, you like that? It's a stainless steel mug that's spot welded handle, and it's from an outfit called Wild Bill's, old-fashioned soda pop company. I've seen these at a few different festivals. This one in particular I got at the Sturgis rally in South Dakota. But I have another one that's copper in color that I picked up at a Comic-Con that Gary and I went to. And the deal is the mug's like 15 bucks or something. But all day long, you can fill it up. And so I kept going back for cream soda and root beer and orange soda and all that stuff. Hey, good night, Robert, and thanks for stopping by. Give Bo a hug from all of us. I am in Oregon, and specifically, I am in northwestern Oregon near Portland. Portland is our largest city, and it is basically at the mouth of the Willamette River, where the Willamette River meets the Columbia River. And I live in a small town about 20 minutes west of that, towards the coast. You should keep quarters in it. If I kept quarters in my mug, I would end up drinking quarters. And I don't think I'd like that. I don't think that would feel very good the next day, or even the same day. Ford Fiesta. Oh, Ian, what I was saying about a Ford Fiesta is in some years ago, I picked up a Ford Fiesta and turned it 90 degrees in its parking spot as a prank to a buddy of mine that I used to work with. Do you get down the beach and see? Yeah, welcome everyone who has recently come. And yeah, the beach trip was good. Also, on Sunday, Gary and I pulled his lathe out, and we're looking at it and trying to figure out how to take the chuck off, because he got it secondhand. Woo! Squirrel! Squirrel! Hey, Isaac. Nice to see you. Thank you, Gary. Thanks for giving me $5. That's some love. Hey, you know what? Man, I wish those were full of M&Ms. I think they have bolts in them. Yeah, let's have I think some bolts and stuff. Oh, yeah, this is great video here. Oh, man, Gary, you rock. That is gonna go towards a new mug at my next event. So let's see, I got in this M&M container, I got some things like that. I'm gonna use these, I think, to hold down, gonna use these to hold down a tool on my flip-top table that I'm working on. I was out of town this weekend, so I didn't have a chance to work on the table, but I did. Ooh, yeah, I wonder if they'll have one of these at the car show. They might. Because I went to the coast, I didn't have time to work on my table, but I did pick up a piece of 1/2-inch MDF. I picked up a piece of 1/2-inch MDF to use as a spacer between my 2 3/4-inch pieces of plywood, because my axle or rod is a 1/2-inch. And I thought about milling down some wood to a 1/2-inch to use as the spacer, but the wood to buy that wood was more than this piece of MDF, and I'd have to mill it down somewhere else. So I do need a good hit every now and again. Yeah. Don't let Gary hit you. He's my size. I think he'd hit pretty hard. 6 loonies. What's a loonie? Is a loonie a Canadian currency? I feel so uncultured. I don't know what a loonie is. Oh, someone's getting some snow. Yeah, we don't have any snow here. Oh. What day was it? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Tuesday was a pretty big day for us at work, or a busy day for us at work. We had a fire hydrant moved as part of a project. And anytime you move underground, underground utility like a fire main or a water main for a city, it needs to be inspected by the jurisdiction having authority, and in our case, it was the city. So the city comes out, and we're all set up with the contractors to do this this flush, because we have to prove that the piping is good and flow water, and also prove there is no debris in the fire line. And then there's another test where you put that section of pipe under pressure to ensure it holds pressure and does not have any leaks. So this is getting to something. So there are valves that we call post indicator valves. The valve is actually underground, but there's a red post that sticks above the ground that has a little sign inside a window that says open, closed. And then there's a nut on the top of the valve that you can put a wrench on to turn it, and that operates the valve underground. And then that sign moves up and down, thus post indicator valve. You know what the position of the valve is underground. So since they moved this fire hydrant, we had to flush it, and we had the valves isolated at either end so they could perform their work without obviously working under pressure, which would not be safe. So I go to operate one of the valves, and it's rather difficult to turn because one side of the valve has 0 pressure and the other side of the valve has 175 psi in a 12-inch main. So that's a lot of surface area pushing on one side of the gate coming down, so it sticks. It's difficult to move. It's forced friction on one side. So it takes a fair amount of effort to open this valve. So I open this valve, we flush from one direction, and then we close the valve, and the city wants us to flush from the other direction, which is fine, just to prove. So the foreman of the contractor who performed this work sent his apprentice to come help me because he didn't want me to go through the effort to open this next valve. He was trying to be gracious and helpful, so he sent his apprentice over to help me. And the apprentice is, I don't know, 19, 20 years old, maybe 130 pounds, 140 pounds, just this little guy, little kid. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. If he wants to open the valve, he can open the valve. I don't care. So I unlock it and set him up. And he goes to pull on it. He probably spent 30 seconds, 45 seconds attempting to turn this valve, and he was giving it everything he got, and he couldn't budge it. So I'm like, all right, here, let me do it. And so I turned the valve and I opened the valve, and he was just, I don't want to say embarrassed, but, you know, flustered that he couldn't open the valve. But, you know, he's just a kid. I don't think he weighed enough to be able to anchor himself to open that valve. So I kind of found that humorous this week. You know, they're trying to be helpful. Hey, good night, Love Pug. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, that was kind of fun. Oh, someone's dinging me. Hey, Gary, remember that guy? Remember that guy George? I still remember the last thing he said to me before he kicked the bucket. It just has stuck with me all these years. You know what he said? He said, "How far do you think I can kick this bucket?" I crack myself up sometimes. Let's see. So, you guys are doing all your own little thing. So there's a feature in YouTube called the community tab, and I haven't I've seen other people use it. Hey, I've seen other people use it to post information about their YouTube channel, but it just became available to me. Hey, Jay, welcome. Welcome. Oh, what's going on? You guys are retracting. Oh, they're making fun of the Canadians and their math. How easy it is, the whole base 10 thing. Just move the decimal over and things work out. Anyway, the community tab just became available to me, and I'm going to play around with it. See how it works. And if you guys find it interesting, let me know. And if you find it annoying, let me know. And if you don't care about it, let me know. I will give you another $5 not to tell another joke like that. Woo! Come on. I'm telling silly little jokes. They're never as good as Gary's, but hey, it's my own little thing. Oh, Isaac, thanks for coming by and watching. I appreciate it. Use it kind of like Instagram. Nice, yeah. I'll post some pictures up there. And show some projects. I think it'll work great for taking some photos of things I'm working on that are being videoed, and I can give kind of a preview for a video coming out soon. I think that would be pretty cool. 2 sailboats and a beaver equal an elk and 5 beavers. You guys are doing that Canadian math, aren't you? I didn't get that far in college. We just did that dumbed down math that we do here in the States. You know, 12 inches in a yard and 12 yards in a mile, something like that. Oh, boy. So I have burned through all my notes, which is okay. So now I will go to my classic just let's ramble time. Someone just mentioned PC app for Instagram, and I know there's some way that you can post pictures to your Instagram account using your PC, but I haven't played with it. I just use my phone. How many meters are in a mile? 10 meters. There's 10 meters in a mile. Ooh, here's one for you. So I lived in Norway, and in Norway, it's the metric system. It's kilometers, and you know, meters and centimeters and all that jazz. So one day, this gentleman is telling me how to get someplace, and he said it's just a couple miles down the road. And I thought he was being polite and converting it to a measurement I knew, miles. And so I thought, that's cool. So I'm driving down, and where I expect a couple miles to be, what I'm looking for is nowhere to be found. Later, I find out that in Norway, the slang meaning of a mile is 10 kilometers. So when he said it was a couple miles down the road, he was referring to it being, it's roughly 20 kilometers down the road. I had no idea. I didn't know that. So that was kind of funny. So as some of you know, I play board games, and sometimes I play some video games. And when I was living in Norway, I had a buddy who was living in Germany. And we met hey Mom, how's it going? We would meet, we met a few times in Amsterdam because I had a sales office to go to in Amsterdam, and it wasn't that bad of a train ride for him from Germany to Amsterdam. And he introduced me to a game called Settlers of Catan. It's a German game. I'm going to make it sound real boring by saying it's a German economics game, but that's oversimplifying it. It's really a fun game. So I wanted to get Settlers of Catan for myself. So when I went back to Norway, in the town I was living, Fredrikstad, they didn't have a game store. They didn't even have a toy store. So I went up to Oslo, which is the capital of Norway, it was about an hour from me, maybe 2 hours. Anyway, so I drove up to Oslo, and I found a game store downtown Oslo, and I parked, you know, went in and said, "Hey, I'd like to buy Settlers of Catan." And the guy pointed out where it was on the shelf, and I went over, and they only had Norsk version, Norwegian language version of the game. And I'm an American. I can only speak English or read English. So, I chose not to buy it. So this was in 2001 when internet on the phones wasn't a thing. And anyway, so I asked him how to, where another toy store was, or game store. And he was trying to explain to me how to get across downtown to this other game store. And all the street names in Norway have about 57 consonants and 2 vowels. I'm sure Jay just experienced this in Germany, where the street names are very long and very difficult to say and read. So anyway, so he was trying to explain to me how to get over to this other store, and I am completely lost, just completely lost in the directions he was trying to give me. But these 2 kids were there, and they overheard the conversation between this gentleman and I. And they were maybe 10 and 12, a brother, sister, maybe a little older, not sure. But the oldest one piped up and said that they would take me. They would take me over to that other game store. And they knew English because in Norway, they learn English as a second language in the 4th grade. So they just wanted to practice their English with me and talk about Harry Potter, because Harry Potter just came out. And they're just blah, 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 cute little Norwegian kids talking to me in English, talking about Harry Potter. And I probably reminded them of, what's that giant in Harry Potter? Hagrid. So we go trekking across, here's me lumbering through downtown Oslo, following 2 little kids, and they take me over to this other toy store. And I go in there, and they, hey, Richard, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I know it is in the middle of the night for you. It's very nice of you. Richard is from the UK, and he has a great channel. He's a maker, a DIY guy. I don't think I have a link in my description, but I'll post it. I'll post it later. It's 1:15 a.m. Yes, it is the middle of the night for him. So get to that store. They don't have any copies of Settlers Catan because there's a gaming convention going on at the university, and they sent their stock of Catan and some other things. They sent their stock to this gaming convention. So now it's becoming quite an ordeal just to get this game, but I really want it. So I walk back across downtown and get in my car and drive to the university. And I go up, I find where they're holding this convention at the university, and the guy was like, "Oh, that's 200 kroner to enter into the convention." And I was like, I'm not really here to participate in the convention. I just came for the game, and then I kind of explained the story, and the guy had a chuckle. He let me in for free. I went and bought my game and brought it back. And now I have one of the old school versions of Settlers of Catan that I bought in Norway. And I love playing that game. It's a lot of fun. What part of England? Oh, I want to say Richard is in the southern part because he talks about going up to the Midlands to visit. So I think that implies south. And I know he's near the ocean because he has done a handful of metal detector videos on the beach. And he is the bottle cap king. He has found many, many a bottle cap on that beach. Dorset. Richard lives in Dorset, and it is in the south. Apparently we can fit 13 beards in the live stream. We're down to 13. Wow, I need to do a little bit more promotion. I have 13 people watching. I think I deserve 20. 20 people should be watching my thing. Yeah. Richard also did a video where he was doing some snorkeling in a pond or a creek. Not sure what he was doing or what body of water he was, but he was snorkeling. And I think he was testing out his new GoPro. And he found a 6-pack of beer that hadn't been opened yet in the bottom of this creek or pond or whatever. So he pulled it out. So that's probably one of his more exciting finds on adventure, although it wasn't with a metal detector. But he came up and I think he gave it to some younger dudes hanging out on the side. Probably only younger dudes would drink found beer in a pond. How do beards work in the hot summer? They work pretty well. They kind of stay the same shape. It's nice because you can put nails and screws in your beard. Like if you're working on something and you don't want to hold it, you just stick it in there. Yeah. You can splash water on your beard and it feels nice. They're itchy and hot, but keep the bugs off. Yeah, I suppose that's true. If you are riding a motorcycle and you don't have a full face helmet, your beard goes like this, and you look like some crazy hobo who just hopped off a train. That's always fun. Appalachian mountain man beard. Those are like this long, aren't they? An Appalachian mountain man beard. That's roughly just above the belly button. I saw a t-shirt once where there was marks on the t-shirt saying like lumberjack, wizard, ZZ Top or something. I don't know. I just had some funny markings. That was pretty cool. That's true. The nails and screws do scratch the itch. Yeah, every once in a while you find a bit of potato chip in your beard, and you think, oh, when's the last time I had potato chips? But then you just eat it anyway, and it's still pretty good. It kind of marinates in the beard. Sometimes you can smell the environment that you're just in. Yes, not itchy if you use beard oil. Yes. I might have to figure out how to get a little bottle of your beard oil, Amanda, and give it a shot. That'd be nice. Oh yeah, I used to have a goatee, and I would keep it short. That was far itchier than having a longer beard. A longer beard, you don't really feel it. If you ever have a zipper, you can zip your beard up in the zipper, and then you go like that, and that doesn't feel good. How can it be called live from the shed when you aren't at RH1 shed? There's a pair of brothers in the Portland metro area, in fact, the Pacific Northwest, called the McMinimums. Their last name is McMinimums. And they started a local brewery and bar, but they did it with a twist where they buy interesting properties like a grade school or a Masonic temple or an old hotel or a movie theater. They buy all these old, interesting properties and they turn them into breweries and eating and drinking establishments. And in Hillsboro, they have one that is an old farmhouse, and they call it the Roadhouse. That's the name for their establishment. And so it's this big, grand farmhouse, and in the back they built a very nice mountain-esque lodge with timbers and timber frame construction. And it's really cool. And then behind that, on this property, because it's an old farm property, there is literally a shed called the White Shed, and they have limited service there, and they serve some beer and cigars and some whiskeys. And then outside this shed is a large fire pit and seating, and a bunch of guys from my work will go to the White Shed and hang out and enjoy a evening of cigar and a beer. And so it's pretty cool. I've done that a few times, and oftentimes they do it on Thursdays, which now interferes with my live stream. But yeah, that's funny. Maybe I could do a live stream live from the shed, but from the White Shed, and you know, I don't know if they'd let me do that on their property. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe one of these days. The Bearded Bros Beard Oil. Yes, Gary and I have talked about doing our own line of beard oil, and I still want to do that. I'm trying to talk my mother, who may or may not be in this live stream, to do it, because she is into the essential oils and the natural stuff. Anyway, what I'd like is to convince her to come up with a recipe for some beard oil, and then Gary and I can market it and sell it off of YouTube or something, and I don't know, maybe make a penny, or maybe we just have a lifetime supply of our own beard oil, which also would be nice. We wouldn't want a rusty beard. No, you gotta keep that beard well oiled. Squeak, squeak. It is amazing how you just put a little, we call it beard oil, put a little beard oil in, softens it up. Sometimes you can have a nice scent in with it. Shed heads. Yes, Jim, I think that is a great idea, that you guys are shed heads. Kind of like a deadhead. Yeah, Hoffman's little homes, Heidi. Yeah, make some beard oil. I think Gary has played around with making some beard oil himself. But yeah, I don't think it'd be too hard to do. So Kevin is saying, he uses Tight Bond premium wood glue as his beard oil. You would, you, you would definitely be able to sculpt and shape, shape your beard with this. Oh, beard butter, yes. I think the beard butter would help straighten out some of the curls, I think, in your beard. Maybe a little shea butter, or coconut oil. Both those have are a bit more solid, but they melt pretty easily. So you just put a little bit in your hand, and the friction would melt the coconut oil or shea butter, and then you can work it into your beard. Kind of give you a little bit of hey, Kevin, I have your Making Sawdust channel link in my description. I have currently you and Sam's new woodworking channel in my description, as well as Ian's new channel in my description. I may or may not have Gary's. I was trying to do a little subtle promotion of some of the newer projects, and I may have left Gary's in there. But yeah, I'm just going to show this a few more times because I think it's funny that Kevin jokes about using Tight Bond as his beard care product. Super beard gel, yes. Dip your beard into resin. Hey, did you save that, Richard, and turn it? So, some people will put like a pine cone in resin or glitter in resin and then turn it like for a pen. You know, I've seen you do that. But you could dip your beard in the resin, turn that on your lathe and make a nice pen. Oh, yeah. Hey, Richard, I voted for your box project on the build-off. I really liked what you did. Richard had a challenge to make a box out of cardboard. Now that sounds pretty easy, make a cardboard box. But so he took cardstock of many different colors and laminated them together, planed them down, and basically made his own wood out of laminated wood, and then made a very nice small jewelry box or something, a little knick-knack box, put some felt in it. Looks really nice. You should check it out. Yeah, Bill, make knife handles out of it. I think Bill, he made a forge recently, and I haven't made it over there to check it out. But Bill, I haven't talked to you about this in a bit, but I went to that metal yard and to see if they had tool steel blanks, and they didn't. Or they didn't even have tool steel. They just had mild steel. But I'll keep my eye out to see if there's a local supplier of tool steel that could be used to make blades. Using a little Dave was saying that he uses wood stove for a nice trim. In junior high school, in science class, we had those alcohol burners, the little alcohol burner that you put underneath your beaker to heat it up, and I was messing around with it, and I had unscrewed the lid, and I tipped it over, but the wick was still lit, and the top of the table caught fire because the alcohol spread across the table. And I went, and I blew on the fire to put it out, and the fire went, and then came back and burned off my eyebrows. So that was kind of funny. Ooh, you're still in the lead on your challenge. Oh yeah, Bill. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out because I'm interested in making some blades too. I am going to try to make some blades using some old wrenches and files. So that might be an option to play around with. I've seen many a video where people have used an old file and use that as their steel. Good night, Richard. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, and I look forward to you winning this challenge with Huey on your cardboard box build. Yeah. My mom's making a joke that now I tell her that I burn my eyebrows off. That's also the same class that this finger here, I stabbed a pencil through. I had the pencil on my finger like this, just playing around with it, and I had the pencil underneath the desk, and I was kind of tapping my knee against it, and I leaned back in my chair and rammed that pencil up against the bottom of the desk, thus pushing it through my finger. and I have a little scar and a pencil lead tattoo from that. It's a little dark spot on my index finger from that. Oh, hey, Off the Grid Bound, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, those were the days, foolish youth doing silly things. Yes, good night, Bill. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I'll talk with you later. Well, what did you miss? Saturday, I'm going to go get into some small cars and videotape that. It will be a sequel to a video I did last year. And I talked about my trip to the coast. It was a lovely trip to the coast. I told a joke about kicking a bucket. You'll have to watch earlier to get that joke. Let's see, what else did I talk about? Welcomed Ian at R.I.G Outdoors. He is a new YouTuber, and he is a new content creator on the content creator site. So feel free, anyone who's a monitor or a mod, to put a content creator link in there, and feel free to put Ian's channel, R.I.G Outdoors, in. So now you're caught up. That's all I talked about for the last 60 minutes for those handful of things. Ooh. Pencil lead mark under my knee. Yeah. You tattooed a spot under your knee, basically. Oh, how are we doing? Oh, wow, we're at 68 minutes. Thanks everyone for coming by. Give me some feedback. How has the buffering situation been since I dropped off of Wi-Fi and went to cellular data for the stream? Is it better? Because maybe that's what I will do from now on. Or I wonder if I'm getting slightly worse reception because I moved my filming spot 4 feet to the north, and I'm no longer have a good line of sight maybe with my router. Who knows? But anyway. Hey, good night, Mom. I think I'm going to wrap this up too. Everyone, thank you for coming by. Go into my description. Check out that video I did last year of a big man getting into small cars. Check out Ian's new channel. It's only 2 or 3 days old. And check out Sam's new channel. He has a second channel. Check out Kevin's second channel. And be kind to one another, and thank you for joining.